Hi everyone, it's Emma from Air Learners. Today we're going to go through the Year 5 preparation PowerPoint for writing. We're going to go through some tips and tricks, and we'll also go through the marking criteria for Naplan and just some information about this assessment. We're not going to go through any practice questions today, so make sure that you give the practice test a go after this video. So let's discuss what the writing assessment actually is. It goes for 40 minutes and you're going to be given a prompt. And this prompt is either going to be a persuasive writing or narrative writing. And if you don't know what either of those are, that's totally okay. We'll discuss that later on in the PowerPoint. So both persuasive and narrative writing is marked by a marking criteria. And at a minimum, students are expected to write a story with a few ideas that are related to each other, provide descriptions about characters or settings, and then also you're expected to spell simple and common words correctly, along with using punctuation such as capitalization. So we'll first begin with persuasive writing. The aim of persuasive writing is to convince the reader of their opinion on a topic. And we'll go through a possible structure for your essay, and then I'll go through an example. So introduction, followed by body paragraphs, and then a conclusion. So say I'm writing about whether or not pineapple belongs on pizza. I'm going to start out by introducing my argument. So I'll start out by saying, I believe that pineapple belongs on pizza. This is because it is tasty, pineapple is nutritious, and the yellow colour makes the pizza look pretty. And then we're going to go onto our body paragraphs, and we're going to use the TEEL structure. If you don't know what the TEEL structure is, that's okay. We'll go through it on the next slide. And I'm going to give each of my reasons with some evidence and some examples to kind of explain more on my arguments that I've made that I stated earlier. And then also we might include a fourth paragraph as a counter argument. So some reasons why people might say that pineapple doesn't belong on pizza is because it's not traditional, but traditional pizza is, like following traditions isn't always necessary, especially with food. You like to experiment, and that might be a fourth paragraph that you might think of including. So something that the opposition might say, but you're going to come up with a rebuttal to that one. And then we'll go to our conclusion. We're going to restate our main ideas. We'll sum up our arguments, and we'll try not to include any new information in that last paragraph. We're just trying to explain what we just said earlier. So here's the TEEL structure. We'll go with topic, evidence, explain, and link. And you might, in school, might not have learnt the TEEL structure, but you might have learnt something else like a sandwich or burger structure, and you're welcome to follow that one as well. This is just what I learnt in school, so it might be different now, which is totally okay. But basically, it goes through stating the topic. You'll state what you're discussing in the first paragraph, and your main idea. And sentence starters might be, one argument is that. And then for evidence, you'll provide your evidence for your statement in order to persuade the reader that you need to be able to provide some context to back up your claim. So a sentence starter might be, the evidence shows, or this is demonstrated by. So in my example with the pizza, I'll say the evidence shows that pineapple is super nutritious and has these benefits, like improving your eyesight. I'm not sure if that's true. It's probably not. I just made that up. But yeah. And then we'll go on to explain, and you're going to go into more detail about what you're arguing and elaborate on your evidence. And some sentence starters might be, the evidence supports this by showing. And then finally, we're going to provide a linking sentence. And a linking sentence is needed to link your arguments back to the main point. You might start this sentence by therefore, or this shows that. So we're talking about nutrition in pineapple, and we'll say this shows that pineapple should be on pizza to make the nutritional value of pizza increase, therefore be healthy and beneficial for you to eat. Now let's go into some persuasive writing techniques. We've first got repetition. Repetition involves using a word or a phrase for effect 2 or more times. An example includes time after time, hand in hand, home sweet home. Now, the next one is a call to action. A call to action involves an invitation for the user to act. So come join our team today, or sometimes in, say, the reading assessment that you might do, there'll be an image of a sick puppy or something, and that's kind of a call to action to help the puppy and donate to, say, the RSPCA or something like that. And then finally, we've got rhetorical questions, which is always my favorite. Rhetorical questions is a question that's asked to make a dramatic effect rather than to get an answer. Like, are you serious, or something like that. Like, you don't need an answer. You just want to be like, oh, seriously? You know what I mean? Okay, so here's the marking criteria. And so for audience, text structure, ideas, persuasive devices, vocabulary, cohesion, paragraphing, sentence structure, punctuation, and spelling. And all of these are ranked from 0 through to 6. So some of them will be ranked out of 3, and then the highest is out of 6. So you should definitely have a look at this after this video, or pause the video now and have a read through and see what you're mainly going to be marked on. And we can see here that audience, sentence structure, and spelling are the highest marked areas. So you really want to do well on those 3. And then have a read through this, so audience and what they're actually marking for. So let's go into some narrative writing tips. So firstly, brainstorm your idea. Before you begin writing, think about the setting, the character, and the plot. And then also think of a title, because that's also really important to add. Now, try and follow the formula of an exposition, conflict, rising action, climax, a falling action, and a resolution. And so the exposition will provide some background information about the main character and setting the scene. That's where you're going to kind of describe a lot of things. And then we'll have the conflict, which is a problem that happens to the main character or characters. The rising action, more problems / conflicts arise. Then the climax, this is going to be the most exciting part of the plot, and it's going to be the turning point. And then we've got the falling action, which are the events after the climax. And our resolution is the ending, where you're just going to like tie up any loose ends. And you're in the story where you may have kind of gone off on a bit of a tangent. So you need to kind of wrap that up in the end. So 3 on our writing tips. Write your story in full sentences using paragraphs. Paragraphs are really important, and it's something that you will be marked on. So make sure that you use deliberate, structured paragraphs to pace out your writing and to highlight the various settings and ideas in your writing. And then avoid writing in large chunks and use a combination of simple, compound, and complex sentences in your writing, which we'll go through later on. And if you forget to leave a little line for your paragraph, just leave 1 line. But if you forget, that's okay. You can do a little asterisk or a P. Say I wanted to make here a new paragraph, so an extra line there. I might do this, and that's going to let the whoever's marking your assessment know that that's where your paragraph was supposed to be. Or you might write like a P to indicate paragraph. Just make sure that you use the same thing throughout. Let's go into the next slide. So sentence structures. Top scoring students are going to use a combination of simple sentences, compound sentences, and complex sentences. So a simple sentence contains a single clause. A compound sentence contains 2 or more clauses that are linked by a comma, semicolon, or conjunction. And a complex sentence contains an independent clause, along with at least 1 dependent clause. Now onto punctuation. So apostrophes, as you can see here, can be used to connect two words in order to make one shorter word. Examples include do not is equal to don't, she is equal to she's. Commas have many uses, including to separate a series of words, to connect two independent clauses, and to separate phrases, and to avoid confusion. Colons are used to signal a list, an example, an explanation, or a subtitle. A point of ellipsis, which are these three dots here, are used to indicate that something has been removed from a quote or for added suspension. And then quotation marks, which are these two here, are used to identify words that are spoken by a character. So those are really important to use during your narrative writing piece. And here's our writing criteria for narrative writing. So again, it's just audience, text structure, ideas, character settings, vocabulary, cohesion, paragraphs, sentence structure, and punctuation and spelling. And again, audience is one of the most important, sentence structure and spelling. So you should take a pause now and have a read through, and you should make sure that once you finish writing, you should give your teacher, parent, or an Air Lotus tutor your piece of writing, and they will mark it based off of this criteria. And hopefully they'll give you a spreadsheet and see which one you got, you didn't do as well in, so then you can try and focus on that and improve later on before your actual assessment. So good luck, keep practicing, and I'm sure you'll do great.